It's up to Congress now to come up with a solution for undocumented immigrants brought into the U.S. as children. The DACA program, which was a stopgap created by the Obama administration, is going away. And this is causing anxiety for hundreds of thousands of young people. ABC's Emily Rao has the story.
Good morning. I'm here today to announce that the program known as DACA that was effectuated under the Obama administration is being rescinded.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions making it official. The end of DACA now on the horizon.
To have a lawful system of immigration that serves the national interest, we cannot admit everyone who would like to come here. It's just that simple.
Should dreamers be worried?
We love the dreamers. We love everybody.
Just last week, President Trump saying he loves the so-called dreamers, nearly 800,000 young immigrants currently living in the U.S. who came here as children.
This is where I grew up. This is where I made my friends. We don't have to be looked at as dreamers specifically, but more as human beings. These are our dreams.
Two administration officials telling ABC News new applications for legal status filed after September 5th will not be considered. Some dreamers will be eligible for legal status for another 2+ years, but for others, that protection will be stripped as early as next March. Protests playing out across the country, and a crowd even forming outside the White House today. President Trump tweeting, "Congress, get ready to do your job, DACA," hinting that he plans to leave it up to lawmakers to decide what to do about the dreamers. Attorney General Sessions called DACA an open-ended circumvention of immigration laws and said it was an unconstitutional use of executive authority. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
Dallas immigration attorney Ann Badmus joins us live this midday to talk about DACA and what this new decision means. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Appreciate it. So I would imagine this is causing a lot of concern, a lot of anxiety amongst folks who have been receiving DACA. So talk to me about what particularly people are telling you now that this decision has come down.
Well, they're really asking a lot of questions, of course, because there's just so much uncertainty now, especially for those who have been renewing their DACA permits and actually in the process of doing that. So they're really, really concerned and wanting to know, what the next steps are for them. Unfortunately for many, unless Congress acts, there won't be much that can be done for them.
So we've heard a few specifics, a little bit as far as a timeline. We're hearing 6 months, but I want to know what exactly DACA recipients should be doing right now at this moment to help safeguard themselves in any way that they can.
Well, if they are eligible to apply for renewal, then they should go ahead and do that, because there is, as mentioned before, a possibility of renewing for 2 more years if your DACA does not expire after March 5th. So there's still the possibility of doing that. And then I would say to actually start talking to your attorneys and looking at possible options. There may be many times not any option, but talk to an attorney and see what other options there might be, and also for your attorney to be able to track what's going on in Congress, for example, because that's what we're looking for now, is Congress to act.
Right, and I wanted to ask you how likely you believe it is that Congress will actually come through and pass some sort of definitive legislation on this.
Well, we're hopeful, of course, but actually the dreamers, as we hear about so much, the first congressional act that was proposed was back in 2001, and it's been reintroduced several times and unfortunately has never come to light. And so we're hoping that with this deadline, so to speak, with DACA going away, unfortunately, that Congress will find some urgency to act.
And you had mentioned before folks talking to their attorney to stay on top of what other options they may have. I'm wondering off the top of your head if there are any specific programs locally or maybe even state or federal that they maybe should research right now that may be good for them.
Actually, it really depends on their circumstances, and so for some there may be some options. For example, we're working with some who may have an employer sponsor to keep them here with the green card, and that's under current law. And then some who actually have family members that may be able to support them in some way through the law, but it really is very specific. So we have to go with what's under current immigration law, and hopefully they will fit within the criteria, but unfortunately most of them will not.
Really is case by case, but at least start having that conversation with your attorney right now.
Exactly.
All right, Ann, thank you so much for joining us this midday.
Thank you,
Really
Alicia.
appreciate it.